Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a one-way ANOVA in RStudio. It all starts with your data file, so I recommend that you use a data editor like Excel to create a comma delimited CSV file. This is just the easiest way to import data into R. So what I have here is I have a column of data for our subject identification number. So each subject here, and this is a one-way ANOVA, so it's all different subjects in each group. So here you can see each subject has a different subject number. We have a lot of data here. This is all just sort of made up data. And then I have an IV here for stimulus type. So they're either match primes, OS primes, or unprimed condition in this particular hypothetical example. And you can see that that repeats. And so different people were in each one of these groups. So you can use whatever levels for your IV that you want. I would recommend using all caps for your variable names. It just makes life easier when you're typing out commands and such in R. It is case sensitive, so I get into the habit of that, so it's a lot easier. Then you have your dependent variable here in the third column, so this is just your DV. So after you've created your data file, you're going to go to save. You're going to save it as a comma delimited CSV file. So what you want to do is go and select this type. In Excel, make sure you're selecting CSV, comma, delimited, a plain version. There's a couple different versions. They can create problems when you're importing data into RStudio, but this plain CSV delimited data will work wonderfully. What we're going to do now is import this data into RStudio. So you can, a couple different ways you can do that. You can click over here to import data set. You can also go to File, Import Data Set from Text Base. We're going to navigate to the location of where I have saved that file. And we're going to select Oneway is our CSV file, so we're going to click that. Now, it gives you this pop-up window. This is asking you for a data frame name. I would use a very short data frame name because you're going to be typing this into your commands, one that you can keep separate. You can see your file. It's sort of giving you a preview of the file over here so you can make sure that it looks right. You have a couple other switches here. I'll go over all of this in a different video. Key here is strings as factors. And it sort of shows you what the data frame will look like as well. That looks good to us, so we're going to import that, and you can sort of see that the data that we had in our Excel file is now into RStudio. So you're just about ready to go. To do analysis of variance, one thing I do is I load this AFX package. It is makes for really easy ANOVAs. So you're going to have to install this on your computer. You may have to go to install, if you haven't already done it, and install the AFX package. I've already installed it, but you still have to activate it in RStudio. And so you can do so by just clicking that checkbox, and you can see the commands here, or you could just type in this library AFX into your command console and it will load it. Now that it's loaded, we can make use of it. So we're going to create a variable name. I'm just going to call it AOV1 for analysis of variance 1. And we're going to make it equal to this AOVEZ command. This is a command. The AOVEZ command is a command from that AFX package. And what it wants is it wants your sub ID number. It uses this, it treats it as a random factor in this particular case. But if repeated measures, it would use it to organize your data set. So now we're going to type the DV. These are all switches that you can see in that yellow box. Also, you can go to the documentation for the AFX package, rather, and it will give you all of the switches that you can have. We're going to tell it the data frame to use, so we're going to use data frame number 1. And now it's just going to ask for our design or our variables. And so we have just a between subjects design here, right? And we have one IV, which is stem, and it kind of does all of that stuff for us. So that's your basic AOVEZ command. You press enter and it's run. It's kind of confusing. It's kind of run, and you'll see that you'll get this statement here, and then you'll see up here in your environment that it's now created this variable called AOV1. So there's a couple different, we haven't seen the output of the analysis of variance until, this is where it can get a little tricky for students and first-time users of RStudio, is if you type AOV1, you'll see your output of your analysis of variance. Another way to do this is to type in this command here that I'm going to use. So it's called nice, and you do AOV1 because that's our outcome variable, and then I'm going to have it do effect size of partial eta squared. So up here you get generalized eta squared. I believe that's what it stands for, as a measure of effect size. But we want partial eta squared. We're going to apply a correction to, so we can apply different kinds of corrections. I use Geyser greenhouse corrections all the time. And then if you want the mean square error, you could leave it in there, as you see in there. Sometimes I want to suppress that because it's just a lot of information. So we can suppress the mean square error by pressing false. And then when you press this, you're going to get a little bit cleaner output of it. So here's our variable. Here's our degrees of freedom to 195. 11.47 is our F value. Partial eta squared is 0.11. And then, of course, our P value is very small, so it is significant. So that's the basic idea behind this for running a one-way ANOVA in RStudio. That's all there is to it when you're using the AFX package. Help me out if you like this video, press like, and if you like videos like this, subscribe. Thanks for watching.